guys, it's Sheila Shimmers. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a foundation review. We're testing out a foundation. Hopefully I can wear it for about 10 hours today because I want to wear it to work. So this one I found at TJ Maxx. I was really surprised that they had it there. This one is by the brand Marc Beauty. It's called the Shameless Youthful Look 24-hour foundation. It has SPF 25, which is really good. That's what I like to wear for work. No matter what weather it is, even if it's cloudy, I'll still put on SPF because I do want to protect my skin from, anything that I can't see. They only had one shade there, so that's what one I went with. It is the white 360 medium, but they do have about 19 shades on the Sephora website. This one is on sale for $27.50 right now. This one says that it's an innovative medium coverage foundation with up to 24-hour wear, flashback free, SPF 25, and hydrating skincare benefits for a natural, youthful look. It says that it's medium coverage, it has a natural finish, and it's good for normal, dry combination and oily skin. It says that it has snow mushroom, which hydrates and mimics natural hyaluronic acid, and it has blue daisy extract, which diminishes the dulling effects of pollution. It is free of parabens, formaldehyde, phthalates, mineral oil, retinol, oxybenzone, coal tar, hydroquinone, triclosan. It has a bunch of things that is free. It says that it's oil-free, weightless formula, has a perfect level of coverage for flexibility across the shade range. It says that the SPF is visibly undetectable, resulting in no flashback in photos and no ashy gray undertone. So that's really good. Something that I did notice that it's kind of a bummer is that it does contain alcohol. It does have really strong smell. So alcohol does tend to dry your skin out. So just keep that in mind if you do have dry skin. I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys how the foundation looks like. If you have a TJ Maxx near you, this one I found for $12.99 in TJ Maxx, so it's definitely a deal of the deal. So this is how it looks like. So that's the box right there that it comes with. I'm just going to go ahead and open it up for you guys. So there it is. It is kind of a squeezy tube, but it's plastic on the top, a little plastic cap right here. To open it, you just twist this part. And there you can see that your product comes out of this little squeezy tube. I think the packaging is really cute. I would prefer it not to be completely plastic, but honestly that makes less messes, and I'm really clumsy, so I kind of do appreciate that in a way. It actually brings 1.08 fluid ounces. This is an older foundation. It's not anything new, but I did want to do a review because I've never actually tried it. Like I said, I'm going to be using the medium white 360 shade, and I think it's going to be a little dark for me, but that's okay. I think I can make it work with some light concealer. I don't think it's too dark. I just think the undertone is not the correct one. So I'm going to be putting some primer on. I'm going to be using this one by Milk. It's a Hydro Grip Primer. So since it is a Marc Jacobs foundation, I'm kind of thinking that it's going to be a little bit lightweight. I did kind of swatch it on my hand, and it was very runny, even more runny than my Giorgio Armani, which is like super liquidy. So I don't expect it to have too much coverage, and I kind of think that it's one of those foundations that is like your skin but better. And I do have a lot of things that I want to cover up right now, so if I don't cover those up, I'm just going to go with some concealer. But honestly, that is kind of like what I like to do for work. I like to go with a very like light foundation and then just go over it with concealer and just cover up whatever I need to. I'm going to be using a beauty blender on this side, and I think I'm actually going to use my hands on this side just because it is kind of like a more natural looking foundation. So I'm just going to let you guys see how runny it is. So right there, I think I have about a pump. I'm not really sure, but it's really runny. I'm like trying for this to not fall off. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and blend. So right there, you guys can see that it's a little bit more yellowy than my skin, a little bit more golden. When you blend it in, I think it looks actually really nice. It's definitely not medium coverage. This is not medium coverage at all. I think it's more of like a light, soft coverage, but I think it looks really nice. It actually looks like your skin, and I think I really like that. Now, if you wanted to build this up, you would have to use a lot of product because right there I just used one full pump, and I don't feel like it covered a lot. I'm going to let you guys see how the pimples look and everything, but the look of it looks really nice, so I do really appreciate that. I think I'm going to do one side again with the beauty sponge and just put a little bit more. I'm putting about 1 dot. No clue how much that product is. I'm just going to cover up right here. I don't really feel like my forehead needs any more coverage, so I'm just going to leave it there. So I would say this side has a plump and a half, and you can still kind of see the little things peeking through. I'm still going to have to put some concealer if I want a little bit more coverage there. But honestly, the finish of this foundation, it is beautiful. Beautiful. I'm not noticing that smell so much today because I did shake it before I used it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the right side now, and you guys are going to be able to see how it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to try to use the same amount of product going about with this. I'm just kind of buffing it in. I'm not really like a pro at doing this. I honestly never do my foundation with my fingers, but I've seen a lot of people doing it lately, and I just like had an itch. I don't know how I feel about like all my germs from my hands going into my face. That's the only part I'm weird about, but it may look a little bit more natural. I do feel like this takes a longer time, and it's not really like melting into my skin. It's just like kind of sitting there. So I'm just gonna keep doing this. Okay, it kind of feels a little bit better. So my face is looking really warm now, but I feel like this side I really like as far as coverage, and this side as far as finish. So I just put a little bit more on top of those pimples. For some reason I don't feel like this foundation I would like it with a brush, just because of the kind of finish that it has. I would just want it to be a little bit more like natural looking. So that's why I decided to do it with my hands instead. But I kind of feel like I still have to pat it in with a beauty sponge a little bit, just because it feels like it's just wet and sticky. So I'm just going to go ahead and pat this in just a little bit. I do not think that this foundation is transfer proof. I think it would get on everything just because of how like sticky it is. But I think that looks really nice. It's definitely not full coverage, but I think with the amount of product that I used, which was about 3 pumps, which is a lot, I did get to like a medium coverage. So you can definitely build this up. You can keep going if you want to. I mean, it doesn't feel like anything on the skin. So if you're worried about like having too much makeup on your face, it doesn't feel like anything. Using the Tarte Shape Tape. This one is in the shade medium. Get rid of these Tarte Shape Tape so I can get a new one, because I had about 4 shades and almost all of them are done. This is my last one. So I'm just going to put a little bit more of this concealer everywhere, just to get like a little bit more neutral onto my face where I want a little bit more coverage. Hopefully I can lighten up my face just a tiny little bit. I honestly don't think that the foundation shade looks that bad. But I do think that I have to like bring back a little bit more of that neutral. Okay, so now that I have like the foundation and the concealer on, I feel like this is pretty much medium to full now. And I think it looks really nice. It still has like that kind of like glow from within. It doesn't feel like too caked up or anything like that. But I'm going to be honest, I would have been much happier with just a little bit less foundation. But for the purpose of this video, I wanted to do something a little bit more for coverage. But honestly, I would just go with 1 pump all over my face, apply some concealer, and go about my day, because I just want my skin to kind of like breathe through the day. I'm going to be setting it with the Hailey's Beauty just loose powder. I've been loving this powder lately, and I just feel like it's really good. And I'm bringing it down my neck so my neck and the foundation become the same color, because they're not. Alright guys, so the rest of my makeup is done. I think this actually looks really nice. I think it looks very comparable to my full coverage foundations. I did put a lot of foundation today, so I wouldn't call it full, but it's definitely a medium. I think I can see just little tiny bits of my pimples and kind of my blemishes, but this is not like sinking into any fine lines yet. It doesn't look dry, which is really nice. It doesn't feel super hydrating as either, but I just think it feels really nice on the skin. It doesn't feel like anything, and now that I set it and like put concealer and all my makeup on, I think it looks really gorgeous. I think there's a little bit of glow that you can see, not so much on camera, but in person, it just looks very natural looking, and I think I really like that. But for some reason, it just didn't give me the vibe of like being a brush foundation. So I think it's a really, really nice foundation to use if you're in a quick on the go. If you also don't have a lot of things to cover up and you want to just apply a little bit of something with a tint and some coverage, this is really, really nice. So far, it looks really good. I'm going to do some check-ins throughout the day, let you guys know how it's wearing everything, and I will see you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, so I've been wearing it for about 6 hours now, and I'm going to show you guys how it looks outside and inside. I do feel like it's not as hydrating anymore. I feel like it's looking a little bit caked up over here, and it just looks a little bit dry on other areas. But I'm going to mention something that I did wear yesterday and it didn't look as dry. So I'm thinking that maybe my skin was kind of drying up from the alcohol and the fragrance on this foundation. But I don't think it looks too bad. I think it looks really good. You can tell right here that it's rubbing up a little bit because of my glasses. So here's how it looks inside. I'm in the bathroom, sorry about that. But you can see that it definitely looks a little bit caked up over here. My texture is kind of showing on these areas, but other than that, I don't think I hate it. Like, it doesn't look the worst. As the worst foundation I've ever tried, it doesn't look the best either. So I just think you have to work with it a little bit more, especially with my skin type. I feel like with people with oily skin would probably benefit a lot from this foundation, but I just think I have to use a better like moisturizing primer underneath, and I think it would look cute. Nothing has really rubbed off other than this area over here, so I think it's holding up really nicely, and there's not really much oil coming through either, and it doesn't feel like tacky or anything. It still feels like nothing on the skin. Okay guys, so I was planning to finish up this video at home, but unfortunately I'm gonna have to work late. So I've been wearing it for 10 hours now, and I have a couple of things to say. By the way, I did mention in the beginning, this was an Allure winning foundation in 2018, so it did really have really good reviews. I just think that the alcohol in it is a little bit too drying. I did wear it yesterday because I wanted to kind of test it out before I did the first impression, just get my first thoughts on how I thought it would wear, and I wore it the whole day yesterday. So yesterday was really, really nice. I just feel like today my skin looks a little bit more dry, and there's some areas that it just looks really powdery. But right now on hour 10, I feel like there's a little bit of oil peeking through. If I had blotting sheets, I would probably blot right now, but I never have oil on my face, so I don't really carry that with me because my skin is so dry. But I feel like the glow right now is really nice. So even though it looks like that, when you come close, you can kind of see that it has a little bit of like a makeup-y effect. So I don't know if I love that. That is my only complaint with it. As far as price, obviously I got it at TJ Maxx. I got it for $13, but it is on sale for $27. So if you do want to try it out, I would go ahead and say give it a go, because it's not the worst foundation ever. It is. I do really like that it's a much lighter coverage, because sometimes I don't want to go for that full coverage, and it just feels like, you know, your skin, you can actually see your skin if you apply just a little bit of it. So I like the fact that using a lot of it, you can also build it up, and using it with concealer definitely gave it a lot more coverage as well. So I think it looked really nice. It's not probably my favorite foundation, but I think it's pretty fair, and I think I really liked it, so I'm probably gonna keep using it.